Hi, I am Priyanka and welcome to the Science Nest. Today we'll discuss about the human cost of science, what they don't teach you in your biology classes. When you open your biology textbooks, the science looks incredibly clean. You memorize the structures, the pathways, the neat little timeline of discoveries. It looks like a noble, perfect pursuit of truth. But what they often miss out is the human cost. Today we'll discuss about that in our video. Today we are diving into the dark side of biological history. We are going to look at three monumental advancements that completely changed modern medicine and our understanding of life itself. They share one chilling commonality. They were achieved through profound ethical violations, deceit, and a complete disregard for human rights. Let's talk about the immortal HeLa cells, the stolen blueprint, DNA, and the Tuskegee syphilis study. If you have ever taken a polio vaccine or if you have ever studied cancer biology, you owe a massive debt to a woman named Henrietta Lacks. In 1951, Henrietta, a 31-year-old mother, went to a hospital for cervical cancer treatment. During her treatment, a doctor sliced away a small piece of her tumor. He didn't ask her. He didn't tell her. He just took it. Biologists have been trying for decades to keep human cells alive in a lab, but they always died after a few divisions. Henrietta's cells were different. They didn't just survive, they doubled every 24 hours. They became the first immortal human cell line named HeLa. The biological breakthrough was staggering. HeLa cells were shipped worldwide. They used to map the human genome, test radiation, and develop treatments for leukemia. But the ethical violation was equally massive. Henrietta died shortly after that sample was taken. For decades, her family had absolutely no idea that a part of her was still alive, being bought and sold, generating billions for medical companies while her own children couldn't even afford health insurance. It's a textbook case of why bodily autonomy and informed consent are non negotiable. Let's look at the very blueprint of life, DNA. If you are asked on your board exams who discovered the structure of DNA, you write down James Watson and Francis Crick. They won the Nobel Prize, but they didn't do it alone, and they certainly didn't play fair. Enter Dr. Rosalind Franklin. She was a brilliant physical chemist working in London in the early 1950s using X-ray crystallography to take incredibly detailed pictures of DNA fibers. Her masterpiece, Photo 51, took 100 years of exposure to capture and clearly showed an X shape, the undeniable proof of a helical structure. Here is where the ethics broke down. A colleague of Franklin's who didn't get along with her took Photo 51 and showed it to James Watson, completely without Franklin's knowledge or permission. That stolen glance at Franklin's data was the exact missing puzzle Watson and Crick needed to build their famous 3D model. When Watson and Crick published their earth-shattering paper in 1953, Franklin's own data was published in the same journal, but it was manipulated to look like it merely supported their genius, rather than being stolen the foundation of it. Franklin tragically died of ovarian cancer at just 37, never knowing how heavily those Nobel laureates relied on her hijacked work. Our final case is one of the most horrific ethical breaches in modern medical history. Starting in 1932, the US government enrolled 600 impoverished African American men in a study in Alabama. The researchers' goal was to observe the natural biological progression of untreated syphilis in the human body. But they lied to the men. They told them they were receiving free government health care for bad blood. In reality, they were given fake treatments like aspirin. But the absolute darkest part of this study happened in 1943.
Penicillin was discovered and became the standard, highly effective cure for syphilis. The researchers had the cure, but they deliberately withheld the antibiotic. They wanted to see how the disease ravaged the cardiovascular and nervous systems over a lifetime, leading to blindness, insanity, and death. They even actively blocked the men from getting real treatment elsewhere. This study didn't last for a few months. It went on for 40 years, only stopping in 1972 when a whistleblower went to the press. It was a catastrophic failure of medical ethics fueled entirely by systemic racism. The rules we have now, HeLa, Photo 51, and Tuskegee, these aren't just dark stories. They are the exact reasons why modern scientific laws exist. Because of outrages like this, we now have institutional review boards and strict informed consent laws. Today, a scientist cannot use your cells, test a drug on you, or enroll you in a study unless you fully understand the biology of what's happening and explicitly sign your name to agree. Science is the most powerful tool we have to decode the universe. But as you head into your exams or maybe even into a career in the sciences, remember this: data and discovery must never come at the expense of human dignity. I want to hear from you guys. Can you separate the scientific knowledge gained from the terrible ways it was acquired? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If this helped you look at your biology textbook a little differently, hit that like button, subscribe, or for more science deep dives, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.